Okay, this is an update on NBA YoungBoy making a change in his plea. So we're gonna see what happened.
State of Utah versus Kentrell Galvin. How are you today, Mr. Williams?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you.
Mr. Galvin also has counsel online. If you would please state your names for the record.
Jeremy Delacino appearing for Mr. Galvin as well.
This is change of plea.
Your Honor, Drew Finland, appearing remotely as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Williams, I understand that perhaps there's going to be a change of plea today. Is that correct?
That is, Your Honor.
All right. Would you go ahead and please state for the record what the plea agreement is that has been reached with the state?
Yes, Your Honor. It is anticipated that my client will be entering guilty pleas to counts 2 through 7, count 13, count 16, count 19, and count 22. And there are other parameters to this agreement. Would you like me to put those on the record now?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, it's anticipated that he will enter those pleas as charged. In other words, identity fraud as a third-degree felony with 2 counts, forgery as a third-degree felony, 2 counts, 6 counts of pharmacy fraud, which would be those count 4.
And that's a Class A misdemeanor.
And those are all Class A misdemeanors. There are 6 of those. And all of those the counts I just recited are the ends are all pharmacy fraud cases. We are asking the court to waive time for sentencing. I have some specific requests as it relates to sentencing about the language, but the agreement is that my client will pay a $25,000 fine to the court. And Your Honor, I have a cashier's check in hand. I'm holding it now that I would like to publish to the court at the end of this. Upon payment of that, the state has agreed to a 402 reduction for each of those 4 felony counts. They would all be reduced to Class A misdemeanors, and the case would close at that point in time.
With credit for time served?
No credit for time served, and that has to do with his pending federal sentencing and an anticipated sentence within the Bureau of Prisons. So what we're asking is for the court to give no credit for any time served and to simply close the case.
All right. I was able to meet with the attorneys at Sidebar and just to try to better understand a global resolution that is happening in Mr. Galden's state cases and with his federal case. I wanted to better understand how that global resolution would play into this case and whether or not the court felt comfortable moving forward with accepting the plea bargain and imposing a sentence in conjunction with the stipulated resolution that the parties have represented to the court. I'm going to give Mr. Williams a chance to put on the record just a little bit more detail about what's happening with the federal sentence and the amount of incarceration that Mr. Galden will be receiving as to why it might make some sense for the court to accept the plea bargain. Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
Your Honor, thank you. I'm happy to do that. Your Honor, the agreement that my client has reached with the federal government is he's already entered this plea. This is a matter of public record. He reached an agreement that has yet to be accepted by the district court. I should qualify that a sentence of incarceration of 27 months in the Bureau of Prisons would be a reasonable sentence. And we're awaiting sentencing on that currently. But the position here is that is a significant sentence. Candidly, it could be that if he were sent to the Utah State Prison on this, the board may release him far sooner than that. But he's going to do this 27 months within federal custody, which is why we're asking the court to follow this recommendation and this plea agreement that we've reached of just closing the case now. Then he can go and remain in federal custody and go do that time when that sentence is handed down.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr.
Your
Kelly.
Honor, if I may, I'm sorry.
You may.
Thank you so much. Mr. Delacino and I have been communicating. One thing we want to bring up, and that is that in our negotiations, which have been extensive with Mr. Keller, one of the things that we talked about that there would be a no contest, and I'll let Mr. Williams explain that in person, but that these would be entered no contest. And Mr. Delacino and I just wanted to make sure that was clear with the court.
Okay, thank you for helping me better understand that, Mr. Finling. Mr. Delacino?
And Your Honor, not to gang up on the proceedings here with the three of us, but I would add to something that Mr. Williams said, which is that not only does the federal resolution contemplate a 27-month prison sentence, but it also contemplates a consecutive term of 60 months of supervised probation. So there will be a probationary component to that sentence as well that will follow the custodial sentence.
And as part of that federal probationary period, would Mr. Galden be required to, I assume he would be subject to probation searches that would involve ensuring that he is not possessing or using any dangerous weapons, such as firearms, likewise, no illegal drugs or alcohol, things of that nature?
That's correct, Your Honor. And federal probation is a sort of unique animal in the sense that it's akin to probationary terms in the state, which is to say that they could impose the entire sentence that it was initially available to impose if there were to be a violation. But he would have federal probation officers for that period of time.